Hey there, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the W.E. Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Mark Weiner, joined by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride Wrestling Program, Dennis Papadatos. Coach, how's it going?
Going good. Thanks for having me again. It was an honor.
Coming off a 17-6 win over Lock Haven, what were your overall thoughts on that matchup?
I mean, we didn't compete to our ability, but it's nice to get a W. As I keep telling people, I'll take the lesson with a victory as opposed to the lesson with a loss. So as long as we learn the lesson from the things we did wrong, it could be unbelievable. But like I said, it's nice to start against a W at the place I started at, against a good, solid team, and we got a long road ahead because the competition gets much tougher. No offense to Lock Haven, but our next 4 matches are very, very hard to get past.
Now, you mentioned that your history with Lock Haven. How good did it feel for you personally to beat them?
It does and it doesn't, and I know I keep saying that, but when it was happening, it had nothing to do with trying to win the dual meet. But after it's done, it's like, nice, I beat Lock Haven. You know what I mean? Like, they should have kept me 17 years ago. But when it was happening, it was more about my guys getting the W's, getting ready, you know, for the end of the year, for the national tournament, and beating a solid team in the first match of the season.
Let's go through the match a little bit. At the 125, Travis Pissarro, he comes back and gets the victory. What do you think about his matchup?
He, for Lehigh or against Lock Haven?
Against Lock Haven.
I'm sorry. He did a great job. You know, true freshman, getting down 25, a little bit of a stretch for him until his weight really settles in. He never complained. He toughened up. He got in there. He had to get tough. Every time he had to get tough, he did. And as I told him, he had about a 15-second mental lapse out of 6 minutes and 45 seconds, and that was enough to win. I think he's a little better than 3-1 than that kid, but that kid's pretty good. And I was very proud of Travis as a true freshman with the way he competed.
Jamel Hudson at the 141, he moves up there after last year at the 133, had a big tech fall victory. How do you like him up at the 141?
He's, when he feels good, he's hard to beat, even if he's at 197. So as long as he's comfortable and feels good at 141. For Jamel, it's making him feel as close to 100% as often as possible, and he can wrestle with everyone in the country. We'll find out. We'll see how, you know, as the season progresses, but he has the ability to be on the mat with anybody, so we're very, very confident with his move up to 141.
Coming in to win against Lock Haven was Cody Ruggiero at the 149. He wins the match for you guys. How did you expect him to come in and have that good of a matchup at the last match?
Yes, on paper, that is their best kid, him and the 84-pounder and the 41-pounder. And on paper, Cody's our best kid, so it was interesting that it was going to be the last match of the night. I actually thought the match would have went different if Cody felt a lot of pressure, and he told me after that, he's like, man, I really felt, you know, watching everyone wrestle and knowing that the way it transpired, that it was going to come down to me, and you can tell that he was nervous because Cody never shoots the first 1 second of the match. I mean, the ref shook hands, and he was in on the kid's leg, and I was like, whoa, Cody's a little nervous right now because he just wanted to get in and you know, get the takedown in the fall. And I felt like he would have worked a little more, been a little more at ease, get his top game going. But he held on. That's a good testament that he was tough enough to hold on. In the future, when there's less on the line for the team, I think he'll be able to dominate a little more.
Coming up next Thursday at Lehigh, what's the scouting report on them?
They are very, very good for the last 20 years. So, like I said, that's why it was so important to win that Lock Haven match, because we're pretty good. Lock Haven's pretty good. It was going to be a swing match. You saw the swing match went 17-16. Lehigh, Rutgers, Missouri, and NC State are our next 4 matches, and if we lost the first one, it might not have been a very good start to the season. So we needed to get that first one out. Now they're a conference battle, so a lot of individuals mean a lot in this matchup. And Lehigh traditionally is a very good team in the beginning of the season and end of the season. So on paper, you know, they're definitely favored, but we don't wrestle on paper. We wrestle on those foam mats out there, so we'll figure it out.
What's the key to victory against Lehigh?
Consistency of effort. That's all it takes, to be in their face, to let them know that we're not here to lay down, that we're going to battle, that we're going to battle, and then we're going to battle, and we're going to try to win little instances, and the more little instances you win, the more matches you win. The more matches you win, you can have a chance of winning the dual meet.
The head coach of the Hofstra Pride Wrestling Program, Dennis Papadatos, thanks so much for the time.
Appreciate having me again.
I'm Mark Weiner. This has been the W.B. Mason Coaches Report. Tune in each and every week right here on GoHofstra.com.